Welcome back to the Web of Opinions podcast. I'm Cody and I'm joined by Kim, also known as the Spider Within on YouTube. And we're back. It's been a hot minute since we've done a podcast episode. We got busy of life, school, work and all that. But now we're on Christmas break, so it's time to return with vengeance. So, how are you doing on this fine evening, Cam?
I'm big chilling over here, just lounging. Lounging?
Lounging? You're just lounging? What do you do? Are you like sprawled out on a couch?
Yeah. No, I'm in my chair, I'm just pushing it back, all relaxed and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, no, I don't. But anyways, so we got some topics for you. So we're gonna be covering the Superman trailer. Then we're also gonna stick with the DC theme. We're gonna go over the Creature Commandos episodes. When this video or this podcast, whenever you listen to it, will be up to episode 5. We'll also go over the first 5 episodes of Marvel What If Season 3, and also the Sonic 3 movie review. So let's kick things off. The Superman trailer. My thoughts on it. For a teaser trailer, it's not the official trailer, it's the first teaser trailer for it, so there's no dialogue. It was just like shots from the movie. I thought it did a great job of like showing the world James Gunn is trying to build. And I liked how, I mean, everyone's gonna say this, but it felt like a hopeful trailer. It's a complete 180 from, the Zack Snyder universe where Superman is just meh. He's just there, no emotion to him, just all dark and grim, dark suit. And James Gunn Superman, he's got a bright suit. I really like it. I know a lot of people don't like the red trunks, but I mean, it's just paying homage to the comics, Christopher Reeve, Superman. Yeah, so I dig it. Yeah, once again, I like that it's hopeful. It's a hopeful Superman movie. It starts out like on the showing that Superman is like vulnerable, he can be hurt. But then it progressively gets more hopeful through the trailer. The kid holding the flag, that is an excellent shot, and I know that probably made a lot of people happy. Yeah. I really dug that. Crypto's really cute. But my only concern for the movie is just how they're gonna introduce all these new characters. Because there is Guy Gardner Green Lantern, there is Hawkgirl, the villain is Metamorpho, I think that's what his name is. There's a lot of characters in this. That's my only concern for it, if James Gunn can manage all of this for a Superman movie and give all the attention to Superman instead of, these other side characters. But other than that, I think this is going to be a really solid movie.
Yeah, I also think that's going to be like, the biggest movie of the year next year.
Yeah.
It looks very colorful. There's not even a dull color in there, especially during like the night scene where Lois and Superman are in their apartment or whatever they are, and it's like super dark out with that big giant monster in the background. It's still very colorful. It's very mystical, very like mythical. Like there's not like a single realism aspect in there. Yes, you do have like real life characters, but like real life elements to it, but it's less like, it's not like Man of Steel, like that kind of realism, or the Batman, the 2022 movie. So I just think that's gonna be like very colorful, very vibrant. Like his suit is even like really vibrant. But yeah, I just think it's gonna be a good movie. It's gonna bring a good intro to the new DCEU. And, knowing James Gunn's whole shebang of his films, he's been doing really good, especially with the trilogy of the Guardians of the Galaxy and Peacemaker. He's been doing fantastic.
Yeah, I like that you brought up the Guardians of the Galaxy, because obviously the first 2 are pretty goofy, but there's always been a sense of like the heart with these characters, some really sad stuff going on, and I think James Gunn's show with Guardians 3, he can touch on that more serious side, which is good, because he's looked at as a this goofy, he directed the first Guardians, the Suicide Squad movie. So I think Superman's gonna have a great balance of taking the the serious approach from Zack Snyder and then also implementing the comic book goofiness, and I think it's gonna make a really good combination. I think he can do that. I know a lot of people are concerned about him making it completely goofy. I think he'll bring it all together. So yeah, Kim and I think it's gonna be really good. And then speaking of the DCU and James Gunn, Creature Commandos is out. I know it's been flying really under the radar. I didn't even know it was out. Our friend Noble introduced the show to us whenever he visited us, and it was just a huge surprise. We all loved it, but it is the official launch of the DCU. It's all written, directed by James Gunn. He's even in the intro, but it's a little animated show for this team that's very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's a bunch of creatures and monsters of the DCU that have been locked away from the world. But like the Suicide Squad, they're put into a mission for the U.S. government, and I really like the show. There's been 5 episodes so far, and it's just really refreshing. It's super funny. It's really gory for a show. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, but before we go into a little spoilers, what's your take on it, Cam, so far?
I really like it. What you said, it's really goofy. It also has a lot of emotional parts to it. There's, it's just a really good mix of being funny, being emotional, and then the fighting scenes. You don't really get that a lot in TV shows or nowadays, like the superhero TV shows. They're always just serious and fighting. That's really it. You don't get that goofy, the emotional scenes and the fighting scenes that work well together, and
Yeah.
especially another thing that I like is that this show, even though it's animated, it's gonna be canon to the new DC universe. So I think that's kind of cool of how James Gunn is doing that, having animated shows or movies being canon to a live action universe.
Yeah.
That's what I think is really cool, because you don't see that with Marvel at all. It's usually 2 separate universes. You got whatever show they're doing that's animated, and then you have the MCU. They really don't combine together unless they make some kind of reference to it, but I just think it's kind of cool that they're making it at least canon.
Yeah, it's some of it hasn't been done before. The highlights I could think of the show. So now if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. But this is the time where if you have watched it, you want to know our thoughts right now. So personally, one of my favorite highlights of the show is freaking Frankenstein. He is so funny, and he really emerged in episode 4 and 5 with his goofiness. He's basically become the Drax of the group.
Yep.
And yeah, and his just obsession for what's her name? The bride. In the most random and just spots you wouldn't expect it. He just mentions her in the completely wrong spots, and it's just really funny. I really like Flag. Flag is he's the good, strong man keeping everyone together, but he himself, he can be goofy at times. He's human,
Diablo
so he doesn't make
too.
yeah, dude, Diablo 2. Don't know what his name is, Phosphorus or something like that. But
I think so.
yeah, his name is Phosphorus, but we have to call him Diablo 2. Diablo was in the first Suicide Squad movie. But he just, I don't know, just his power set is basically Diablo. But he's a really good character. He is brutal. His fight scenes are brutal, and then he's also got really good witty comments. So I really like him as a character. I like all the characters. There's something about all of them. They're either funny, they either have really good action scenes, or they're really kind-hearted, like the fishbowl girl. They all have really good qualities, and some of these characters have all these qualities put together. So he's done a really good job in a very short amount of time making us like these characters, because the episodes are only 20 minutes long. We don't get a lot of time with them, and we already have built up a good relationship with these characters.
Exactly, and actually making a good team, and you don't really see a team be likable, for the Avengers, you don't really get to see like almost every single character get loved. In Guardians of the Galaxy, for example, that's a James Gunn, adaptation of it. He makes every single character be enjoyable, and then also in Creature Commandos, even though you have Weasel as a little gag character, you also kind of feel emotional or you feel relatable to him by a sense. So that's why it kind of makes it like fitting. I don't know. I just think from that Weasel episode, which was really devastating to see his backstory, he's just, it make me like him even more.
Yeah, he's making us feel for these dumb characters, and it's great. Like, we should not care for these characters, but the writing is really good, and I did Creature Commandos so far. So 2025 is looking like it may be a potential comeback for the film industry. I would say that 2024 was a pretty bad year. There was a ton of flops. I mean, the only two like big successes I can think of, even though they were huge successes, is Deadpool, Wolverine, and Inside Out 2. But other than that, it was a year full of sequels, and they all pretty much sucked, especially for the superhero industry. I know there was some bad horror movies mixed in there. But we've gotten some recent trailers for what's to come in 2025, and I'm honestly, for the first time in a while, intrigued, especially in like movies that aren't kind of my style, like horror movies. I'm not really that big into them, but movies like The Damned, Sinners, and 28 Years Later, they look really good, and I'm actually really looking forward to those movies. But there's also promising movies like, obviously, like as we mentioned, Superman. There's also Fantastic Four. There's Thunderbolts. I know Captain America: Brave New World. Even though I don't think that movie is probably gonna be good, that's still coming out 2024. So, yeah, 2025 is looking like it may be a good comeback for the movie industry as a whole, especially for the horror genre and superheroes. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited for 2025. What movies are you the most excited for in 2025?
I'm really excited for the Fantastic Four movie, of course. You also got, I wasn't really interested in the whole Thunderbolts when it first got announced, but after seeing that trailer, I'm kind of hopeful for it, kind of. You also got the amazing movie of the Minecraft movie.
Oh, I forgot that's coming out. I forgot.
Amazing Minecraft movie. And also, I'm reading, it says Avatar 3 and Mission Impossible are coming out.
Holy crap.
Next year.
Yeah, so, yeah, 2025 is looking good. Speaking of Thunderbolts, I want this to be the start of John Walker's redemption story, okay? This is his redemption. They'll probably kill him off immediately into the movie. But that's alright. Yeah, Thunderbolts might be a good Winter Soldier-esque movie, even though that's what they tallied Captain America: Brave New World as, and we'll see about that. Could be a good movie. I'm skeptical. I hope it is though. Fantastic Four has potential to be good. I mean, some of the castings are really good. I'm still questionable at Pedro Pascal, because I started reading the Fantastic Four comics recently, and I don't know if he can fit that bill, but we'll have to see. He's a good actor, so he might be able to pull it off. But I think casting of Ben Grimm, the guy from The Bear, even though he's way too skinny for the role, they'll call him Feral Penguin, fat suit him up, and it'll be fine. I think he could pull off the Stern Man, especially to the casting for Johnny Storm. Forgot his name, something Quinn, but he's a good actor. He could definitely pull off the Johnny Storm role, so I'm excited for that. Fantastic Four might be good, but yeah, the three horror movies, big ones, are coming out. Sinners, I really look forward to that.
Oh yeah,
Michael B. Jordan, the director of Black Panther, Ryan Coogler. I think that looks really good. They didn't show anything. They didn't show the vampires in that movie. I'm glad. So there's still a lot of mystery before going to that movie. 28 Years Later is the trilogy of the 28 movies. And then also The Damned. It looks pretty scary. So yeah, as a non-horror movie fan, I'm actually really looking forward to those movies. So Marvel What If Season 3 is out. They're doing a weird thing where they're releasing an episode of 8 days straight. All episodes coming out every day. So that's pretty interesting. But so far, when this podcast is made, there's been 5 episodes come out. I hate this season so far. I think it's really bad. There's nothing compelling about these stories whatsoever. Um, I think this season is just an excuse to like throw in characters we haven't seen in years, and we won't like see them ever in the MCU. Like the Eternals, they're very Eternal heavy, and we know we're never getting the Eternals too. So they're like, well, let's just keep throwing these characters into What If. They're throwing Riri Williams in there in What If because we still got a while before we're gonna see her. We got White Vision. We're not gonna see him for a while until his show comes out in like 2026. So this is just an excuse to show characters we haven't seen in a while. Moon Knight's in there as a Mac. It's just a really weird season. And here's my only question: for a show called What If, why don't you have one of the biggest what ifs ever? What if Peter Quill never hit Thanos on Titan in Infinity War? It's so easy. That's like my biggest what if since I watched the movie. What if he never hit him? The power for the gauntlet, how that would have worked. Because that was a big deal in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. Because they got the gauntlet off of Thanos, but then Nebula put on the gauntlet, and then they had to fight her, and then it was just a big deal. So that would have been a great what if. Do you have any what ifs like personally you'd want to see?
I would have really liked to see what the other 50% would have done. Because I know there was like Spider-Man in there was Groot, there and
Doctor
some other
Strange,
Doctor Strange,
Black
you
Panther.
yeah, a bunch of like intelligent people, same with, the 50% that got, survived through Infinity War 2 Endgame. They're all smart people, but I would really like to see what they would have done with the other 50% and how they would come through with, trying to bring them back, because to be honest with you, they might have not got brung back, because what if Ant-Man got snapped?
Yeah,
That means,
that would have been a huge deal. Yeah.
or what if Ant-Man never came back?
Yeah.
And it's just like,
What if that rat never hit the right combination in the van to open the quantum portal?
And it would be just like a time span of from the beginning of Endgame to like now, I guess, like that time period, and like see how the world would like go. Like, are there gonna be like an apocalypse that's gonna happen? Is there gonna be like other aliens gonna destroy Earth?
Yeah, that's the thing. What if they've been having happy endings for every episode, and I'm just like, dude, sometimes there's not a happy ending. I kind of like to see that,
The only good episodes were in season 1.
For real. I can't remember a single what if season 2 moment. I can't tell you a single one. I can remember the Ultron season, the season 1.
All I remember is, Loki being in there with the tree at the end.
Yeah, dude, yeah, that was cool.
That's really it. Anything else? I have no idea. Can't tell you.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't suggest What If season 3 right now, but there is 3 more episodes. Maybe they're good. There is a decent cliffhanger with season 5, so if you want to watch it, do it. But you really aren't gonna miss anything, at least for the first 5 episodes.
Yeah. So, and we got Sonic 3. From the first 2 Sonic movies, they were pretty good. Good first movie and a good sequel. And then we got Sonic 3 that introduces, Shadow, which is a good, what was it, anti-hero? Or like side villain that wasn't really a villain. It was just a perfect way to, fill in a third movie. This isn't gonna be the end of the franchise. There's gonna be so many more movies ahead. If you haven't seen the post-credit scene, be warned, I'm gonna spoil it for you. Amy Rose and Metal Sonic comes up at the end, so there's obviously gonna be a 4th movie. But it was pretty good, nothing that I expect from, like a Marvel movie. It was a good, entertaining movie. It's for kids, so I would expect it. But it was pretty solid. I enjoyed everything throughout it. You know, Shadow fans got a nod to him with a gun and a motorcycle, so like win-win situation right there. But action scenes were good, the comedy was good. There wasn't like a really dull moment in that movie. The emotional scenes were good, and all honesty, it was my last movie that I saw of the year, and it went out great. But yeah, I gave it like an 8 out of 10. I would recommend seeing it to other people. But yeah.
So that is going to wrap up this episode of the Web of Opinions podcast. Thank you for listening. You can find this podcast on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon Music, and it's also on Apple Podcasts. So yeah, we're growing. You can find us on pretty much the big platforms. So go check us out. Follow us on all of those platforms. And yeah, thank you for listening, guys.